Thank God. God is so good. You know, right now, Lord, direct me. Oh, Lord, I know you can do all things but fail. Word my mouth, Lord. Organize my thoughts, Lord. Allow me to sit down and you stand up. Lord, I know you can. And I'm saying thank you right now, Lord. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the precious Holy Ghost. Amen. You know, sometimes you things happen in life, in your daily life, and you take a look at it and you say, oh, why did this happen? Why did that happen? I paid for this and I paid for that. I want to work with the word deliver. Deliver, delivering. Now, I think all of us deal with deliver. We have service providers. I cut my TV on yesterday to watch my favorite program. And when I went to get the program, the man told me you pay X amount of dollars, you're going to get this program, you're going to have these programs. We know for a whole year without any interruption. I cut the TV on yesterday and it wasn't there. And I went down the line and I said, hey, I'm paying for this. But the service was not delivered. I said, gee, now, this happened, I'm paying for it. Took the man at his word. I said, I took the Buffalo Even News at his word, they're going to deliver my paper. The other day, my paper wasn't there. When I'm just looking around at how many different times someone said they was going to deliver something and I didn't get it. Sometimes I paid for it and didn't get it. Oh, they have excuses. And I just began to wonder about all of this, what man says. You hear the politicians. They get up and say, oh, if you vote for me, this will happen, I'll pass that law. And I don't know one that made all the promises and he delivered on everything. There's two sides of a coin. So I said, well, what is it that's going to sustain me? I said, well, Levi, take another look. And my text is, God will deliver. You know, now, you have to understand, we only see short term. But God sees from the beginning to the end. See, when you see short term, you see disappointment sometimes. Since you can't really see, none of us right now can see the next hour. Now, you can have hope, but you can't see the next hour. But God already knows what's going to happen. And I said, oh, Lord, thank you. But when I look at, I said, Lord, I know what you said. I believe what you said. I'm human. Sometimes, Lord, I just give me a glimpse of what's going to happen. And I thought about that because the situation happened yesterday. I wasn't going to speak on it, but I'm going to speak on it anyway. I was in a pretty good mood yesterday. Went and got my hair cut, and right before I got to where my barber shop was, the police was out, you know, checking cars in both directions. It's okay. See, I didn't have any problem about checking my car because when you know you don't have anything in it you don't supposed to have. So when I drove up to the police, I had my car window down, he just waved me on through. I said, thank you. But I had my hair cut, feeling pretty good, and I went on my way. Went by to see a friend of mine. And when just talking and fooling around, sometimes I say being Alan Young, and I went to turn, and I got a hit in my chest, and I said, uh-oh. I mean, it was a big one. The pain was severe. And they tried to comfort me, and I said, just let me be. I grabbed chairs and I held on. I said, God, I'm in your hands. Well, you notice he delivered me here today. But it was touch and go. And what God gave all of some sense. He let me know to slow it down. Slow it down, and I went on 0. I didn't do anything for the next 4 or 5 hours. See, I would have been silly to do something. He already gave me a warning. And you don't always have to know what the warning is. And you'll have an automobile. And you have warning lights. It will tell you when your brakes, your tires, oil. Now, if you don't pay any attention, your car stops. Whose fault is it? Yours. So when this old body began to react, now I know what the problem was. And I'm not going to go through that because I don't want to have to discuss this later on in private with some folks who really love me and been telling me, slow it down, boy, you know. So I'm not going to go there because I didn't slow it down. When you don't slow down, as she says she's kicking, but she ain't kicking high, I had to pay the price. So I paid the price. But you know what? Let's think about this. God will deliver. Now, he's not on your schedule. And sometimes I'm glad he doesn't deliver. So I thought about this. And I have to go this way. I'm looking today at where I could have been when God first called me and I would have accepted it. I didn't. But the flesh part of me sometimes goes back, and I begin to look where some ministers are today. I'm saying, you know, I could have been past that. I said, because if I were to act like I had just a little bit of sense, I could have stayed in school. I could have graduated on time. I could have received the Lord. I could have had a mega church. You know what? And I began to say what I could do. I said, Levi, you a fool. Because you can't do anything. God does it. He directs. And I thought about a friend of my mother's. It was over at Superintendent Hill's church. And I came in and she said, hey, how you doing? How you doing? I said, fine. And she said this to me. She said, I saw your program on TV. She said, I just got so happy, I even called your sister and told her that I was going to send you a donation. Boy, you doing all right. She said, you know what? She said, come here. And I've been down. She said, I wondered. Now, she's been in church ever since I've been knowing her. She said, I was wondering. You went to school and got all that education. I was wondering what you doing getting saved with all that education you got and what you could do here you up in church. I didn't understand all that until I processed it. She was looking at the fact that since I had some degrees now, why would I come to church and I could just get a job? And I had a good job when she was talking to me. She was looking at money. And I just smiled because I was raised well. And I thought about that. If I had stayed in school, if I had done all the things requiring education, and then played with church, not really being in church, I'd have been a fool. God could have took me. I had a cousin, God bless her so neat, would say sometimes, she said, I wonder about folks doing different things they're doing. Don't they know God could come down and slap them? And that's what would happen. I would have been an educated fool not preaching the word, I would have been doing something. And God could have came and plucked me out. I could be in hell. So God delivered me when he knew that foolishness, that stupidity, that ignorance in me would be gone. Because he knew that if I would have got in the way then, I was weak. A weak person does things, don't have any stamina. So God knew. So that's why it took 38 years, because I wasn't ready. I had to get where I should be. Then when God lined me up, he said, now I will deliver you. And he took me out of the world. I didn't get out of the world on my own. He delivered me. That's like Noah. The flood came. All got destroyed. But God delivered him and his family to survive the 40 days, then to what? To put his feet on dry land. God did that. Then when you go to Daniel 3:25, you see how God took the 3 Hebrew boys and delivered them. You know, and what got me is sometimes you get delivered, it's something to being delivered. He just didn't deliver them. When the big man, when the head man looked inside, he said, there was 3, I see 4, and 1. Now, you know he must knew something about it and say, well, 1 looked like God. So that tells me he knew what God looked like. And he said, and they're not harmed. God said, I will deliver you. Sometimes you're put in situations you don't understand. You have to bear. You have to bear this. We all got family. And we all ain't crazy about everybody in our family. But ain't nothing you can do about it. They family. And sometimes you want to do something about it. You want to isolate them sometimes because you know they're not living right and they're just agonizing. Like you ever get some grain or salt or something in your shoe and it just annoys you when you're walking a piece of gravel and you try to walk with it and after a while you just got to stop, take that shoe off and shake it out. That's what you have to do with some family sometimes. You just got to bear it. Because God's going to tell you when to take your shoe off. He'll tell you when to shake it out. Don't you shake it out before. Because you ever try to get something and just can't get it off? Then God can come in and just clean it up. So if you tell me God is your father and he's going to direct you, don't let no mortal man tell you how to deal with your family. And when you're saved, you get in line. And you say, God, you know I'm getting beat up. And Lord, you know I can say something. And it'll probably be the wrong thing. But you saved me one day. You delivered me from that tongue, that acid tongue that I had. So Lord, I'm going to wait on you. I don't care how bad it seems to the outside world. I'm going to wait. So if we say we trust him and we say that we have faith, but sometimes I think we lack the faith that we say we have. Because we get on a certain direction and we ask God, say, Lord, deliver me from this. Deliver me from that. And what happens is he doesn't do it the way you want it done. Now, whoever made you the expert on anything? You're not. But you feel that because you got 93 years, 64 years, 79 years, 40 years, that you know it all. You don't. God will deliver you out of whatever situation you're in if you trust him. If you trust him. You know, when they was talking about Lazarus, you know, that was John 11:43 to 44. They were talking about Lazarus. If you would have been here a little early, just if you just one day early, he wouldn't be dead. How many times have you heard people say, if this and if that? It's not all about if this and if that. What God has for you is for you. And can't nobody take it. But you got to believe. Because God showed up. The Lord showed up. He called him. And he came forward. That's what he'll do in your life. Just because the job that you have look a little shaky right now, and just because everybody around you is getting laid off, if God said, I will deliver you from this, wait on him. Now, you may even get laid off. Sometimes we don't understand some things in life. Sometimes you say, I had a steady job and I was paying my bills and I was getting along all right. Now I get laid off in the midst of all of this. How I'm going to do what I promised I was going to do. God may have a better opportunity for you. Sometimes we don't see down the road. Because I said earlier, if I had known what I know today, if I had known how sweet it is to be on this side, I would have quit doing what I was doing a long time ago. But then I wouldn't have the testimony that I have today. I wouldn't be able to direct some folks today the way I'm directing them. Because I look, if you ain't never been hungry, you can't tell me what it feels like to be hungry. Eh? I say to a lot of folks a lot of times, you know, I don't understand. I know a whole lot of folks going to scratch their head, and I may get a phone call this evening. I often wonder what people were talking about when they talking about this love thing. They was in love. And that was foreign to my ears. For me, I just couldn't understand. I never used that word. I say, baby, I'm crazy about you. You know, you show what I need. You and I make good music together. But to tell her I love her, not in this world. You know, and I thought about that. I said, Levi, how can you talk to somebody about love and you don't know what it is? I'm not talking about 20th Century Fox where you're walking in the rain and doing your little Fred Astaire dance. I ain't talking about that because that's motion pictures. I'm talking about love. Love to me when you just walk up to something and you know your loved one needs something. They ain't even got to ask you for it. You go ahead and take care of what they need because of the love that you have. And sometimes I had a great-grandmother. I don't think I mentioned her maybe once or twice. Roini. That was my great-grandmother. She lived to be 114 years old, and I knew her well. But my grandmother, great-grandmother, to me, she was a little bit mean. Now, why would I say that about her? She was a blessed woman because she could pinch. I don't know if any of you young folks know what pinching is. My great-grandma would pinch, grab it, and then she would twist it. And she called me to her bed. because I was always doing something wrong. And she'd call me over and she would grab me and she'd pinch me. Then she would ask me for a kiss. And you done pinch me. You brought some tears to my eye and you want me to kiss you? She said, I love you. I pinch you because you were naughty. I want you to kiss me because I love you. Sometimes we have to do that to our children. We got to let them know, yeah, you're all right with me sometimes. But today, you've been acting up, so you don't get a kiss today. See, God delivered us. He drew us so that we could get saved and sanctified. Then he what? He let the Holy Ghost dwell for you to have understanding and wisdom when to and when not. God delivered you for a reason. He didn't want you to be a rubber stamp. He wants you to live a life. And my friend said to me last week that she probably is the only Bible some folks will read. Her life. How many of you living a life that someone can stand back and say, okay, I can do this. I've seen a saint go through some things, and they didn't give up. I saw some saints almost get knocked down, but they stood up. They said, if they can do it, I can do it. God will deliver. It says in Psalm 50 and 15, call upon me in the day of trouble. I will deliver you. Now, what does it say? I will deliver you. I don't hear any stutter in that. Now, he didn't say call me in good time. He said in trouble, when your job is looking like it may be taken away from you. When you're gone to the doctor and he has nothing but bad news. When you go to the bank and they say you're overdrawn. Hey, he said call me. He didn't say go to the bank. Tell him, he said, call on me. I can fix it. Now you're going to say, well, how are you going to fix it? I don't know how many of you remember Blizzard of 77. There were some things that happened in that blizzard that never happened in the city of Buffalo. And some situations came about and records got mixed up. And some people found out they didn't owe anything on a certain bill. But being Christ-like, they knew it was only right for them to speak on it. They know what was being told to them, but they had common sense to know that the bill wasn't paid. God delivered. And after several times going around this, they accepted the fact that God gave a blessing. God's still giving out blessings. I laugh and I talk sometimes. I received a phone call last night and we were laughing and talking about a family member, and they said to me, said, you know, I didn't think you're going to make 21. I said, what? I said, no. The way you were living, I thought you'd have been gone long time ago. I made 3 scores and 7. Why? Not because of what I ate, not that I had so many glasses of water. God delivered. God delivers. And so let's stop counting folks out. Let's stop saying that, you know, this bothers me a lot and still bothers me when I hear couples having disagreements and what I hear come out the mouth sometimes. You're just like your daddy. You ain't gonna ever be worth nothing. Your daddy was nothing and you ain't gonna be nothing. Don't do that. God can deliver. Just because your child, just because your mate is not doing what's right today, doesn't mean God won't deliver. Because everybody was a sinner. Everybody sinned. Everybody comes short. Grace and mercy. God. So don't get so high. Man. I was watching a program the other night, and this lady said to another lady, you know, you don't understand. You forgot where you came from. And this other lady who was a professional said, well, I was down and I was out, but now I'm a lawyer and I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'm a multimillionaire. And she said, who you think lined it up for you? Who do you think lined up? Some of us are walking around here talking about what I got. God lined it up. You didn't line it up. I went for a job. I didn't get that job because of my education. God softened that person's heart. And that's how I got the job. Some of you today are doing very well. Stop and thank God for delivering you to that point in life that you have more than 1 or 2 nickels, that you can go 2 or 3 months without paying the bill. Not because you know math and arithmetic. God delivered you. You know, and I think about it. You know, and when I went to Psalm 34:4, it said, I sought the Lord, and he heard me, and he delivered me. When he said, I sought, I looked, I searched the Lord. You know, and when you call out, not only did I call out, he heard me. And he not only did he hear me, he delivered me. And I have 2 nephews. I have one old nephew and one younger nephew. Well, the younger one called me, and he said, I heard you. I said, you did what? He said, I was in a situation, and I heard you. And I walked away. Isn't that? He heard me. Now, he didn't have to, because he got a temper something like me. Or I had. But he heard me. And I told him several things, but one thing I told him, and I told the oldest one that too, if you go to jail, you're going to stay. If it costs $1, I'm not coming to get you. That's what my daddy said, and he never had to come and get me. So I meant that for both of those boys. If you go to jail, call your mama, don't call your uncle. Because I'm not coming. Because you don't have to go to jail. What do? Call in the midst of trouble. You call on the Lord. You say, Lord, I'm in a situation right now that I cannot handle. Some of you think you can handle all the situations in the world. You can't handle them all. There's some situations you can't handle. Call on God and say, Lord, I'm in the midst of a situation. And this earthly body of mine wants to act out. My tongue wants to jump out and say some things. My hand is itching. I want to go get that gun. I want to get that knife. I want to get that stick. I want to do something to hurt somebody. But Lord, you gave me the Holy Ghost. Something that abides in me. Have taken control over me right now. Has calmed me down, Lord. Oh, Lord, I just need some more prayer. Because it's rough. Everything we go through is not easy. We can go to some situations sometime that you just shake your head. And there's a man who picked a fight with me on the job. About 4 days in a row. Kept saying this and saying that. And the last day of him trying to start a fight with me, the devil creeped in me. The devil told me to put my piece in my pocket. And said, if he come this time, take care of it. But I didn't do it. And he came that last time. And he tried everything he could to make me swing at him. And I didn't do it. He said, Levi, I've been trying to pick a fight with you. You more man than I am. You shake my hand. I could have lost that soul by letting the flesh take part. Now, it wasn't easy. And my great nephew said to me one day, he said, Uncle, he's going to be Unc, I don't know you, but I heard you wouldn't have let that go a few years ago. But I'm glad you did. See, you need to watch what you say and watch what you do. Somebody is watching. God did not deliver you to continue to be a fool, act selfish. He wants you to understand. I gave my son for you. He took all of that he took for you. And all you have to do is confess your sin. He will deliver you. Now, have no doubt. Now, you don't always have to go what the Bible says and try to read the stories in the Bible. Look at your life. How many close calls? How many times you almost in an accident? How many times women who had children almost in childbirth almost left here? It wasn't because the doctor was so skillful. God did it. So what I want you to understand is God will deliver. Believe he will. Trust that he will. And don't be counting time or days or years. Just trust him, knowing that your eyesight is short. You only can see what's in front of you. But the day you were born, God got it all down. He knows the last breath you're going to take. But in between the first breath and the last, there's grace and mercy all in there. You don't have to die and go to hell. Just because your mother was a slut don't mean you have to be one. Just because your brother didn't go to school don't have to mean you don't have to. What you need to understand is God will deliver you if you trust him. Don't let somebody say, this is a family curse. No. God took care of all of that family curse. All you have to say is, I surrender. And believe. And know what? God still on the throne. Where is he? He's on the throne. God is on the throne. He's sitting there right now. He ain't moved nowhere since the beginning of time. So whatever situation you're going, I want some of you that are going through some family difficulties. And you think you're really going through it. Take a snapshot. what Jesus went through. Just think about what Jesus went through. Be beaten like he was beaten, then crucified. But what God said, not a bone in his body be broken. And it wasn't. God delivered him. Since Jesus paid the price for you. And Jesus is standing in the gap right now. He's standing there. You don't have to fail. If you fail, if that's the choice you made, you can make a choice not to fail. That does not mean that you're not going to go through some heartache. That doesn't mean the person that you love is not going to cheat on you. That's not going to mean that all the money that you have in the bank, something can happen and it's all gone. But what it means that Jesus said, I will deliver you. That means when you get through it, all that's said and all that's been done, stand still, look towards heaven and say, Father, thank you for giving me the strength to go through. You didn't go through anything on your own. God propped you up. Give him his due. There's some rough days coming up. School will be starting next month. And we're going to be able to go through some new things. Some kids never been to school. There'll be a lot of transfers in school. A lot of things are going on. God still on the throne. And what does that mean? That means he has control. He has all the control that is needed to get you where you need to go. Where do I want to go? I want to go to glory. I want to go to heaven. To get there, I got to go through something. And sometimes family members may get angry. Friends may get angry. But I have to make a choice. Do I want to be popular with the world and go to hell, or stand on my own and go to glory? I'm willing to go to glory. It's not always easy to stand because you can get tempted sometimes. And we don't necessarily get tempted by the same things. But all of us are human, and we have a weakness. Paul had a weakness. What did he say? My grace is sufficient. In other words, what you got not going to stop you from getting the glory. Don't allow someone to say, you did this when you were 20, so the heaven gates are closed on you. No, they're not closed. You tell anybody who tell you you're just like your dumb daddy, tell them one thing. My daddy's in heaven. It's God. His son, Jesus, is there. And they sent me a comforter. So when I run into folks like you, I got the Holy Ghost that I can bathe in. I'm not going to talk about you. I'm going to pray for you. Because I know something has to be wrong with your mind for you to talk the way you're talking. So my Father have an angel to guard me, to wrap his wings around me. So say whatever you want to say about me. But I know who my Father is. You may not like the way I walk. You may not like the way I let my family do me. But my family, my loved ones are not hurting me. They're hurting themselves. I'm a child of God. I'm a child of God. And God got it. God got it. Don't you let your guard down one moment. Because I'm going to tell you, them same folks will come back. So I thought you were saved. You ain't no more saved than I am because you slapped her or you pushed her or you said this. Pray. And you don't always have to pray out loud. I eat lunch with my students. It's one of the prerequisites. And I always bow my head and I say my blessing. Now, no one had said anything to me, but I noticed my students now bowing their head. Because they know what? I'm paying reference to the Lord. One gentleman told me, he said, I used to go to church, but they would push Sunday school down me so much that now I don't go. I said, well, you need to pray that you don't die while you're not going. Because I don't know what day or what time you're going to be called home. But saints, in closing, let me say this to you. Live a life. Live a life that your children, your niece, your nephew, your cousin can look at you and say, don't tell me you can't live right. Because my mother, my father, my sister, my cousin, my nephew, my aunt, they're living right in this troubling times. So don't tell me that nobody is living right in these troubling times. There are some people living right and being persecuted because they're living right. But they haven't stopped. They've made a way for you and I. So I want you all to remember this. And it says this. In Psalm 50 and 15, call upon me in the day of trouble, and I will deliver you. Not I might, not that I will think about it. He said, I will. When you say I will, that means positive. He will do it. All you need to do is call him with sincerity. Call on him like you mean it. Call on him like your life depends on it. So when that aunt, cousin, or sister is biting you and slapping you all side the head with words, call on them. Say, God, it's getting rough. Help me. He can remove you from that situation. Or he can give you strength enough to stand there with sealed lips, knowing that he got you. Can you do that? Does anyone need prayer?